This is semi, I guess, investigative journalism that's come to my attention, I guess, about a little bit of eBay shenanigans going on that eBay is, from my source, somewhat aware of. Now, if you're a person like me that follows prices of games being bought and sold semi-regularly, especially with buy it nows, you know that when you see a lot of buy it nows, by the time you discover the really good deals, they're gone. They're gone within 20 minutes, a half hour.
Yep.
Which could be fair if someone's searching at that point. They're getting a saved search, which I think eBay does send out the saved email searches about probably the same time to everyone, probably depending upon the server. That's fine. But it's gotten a lot tougher to get these buy it nows that are either mislabeled or, I'm going to put on like a $40 game for buy it now for $10 plus shipping. It's gotten tougher to get these. I haven't gotten any of these in any games that I've looked for or needed, and I don't know many people else that have gotten them. But there could be a somewhat nefarious and fraudulent reason why.
Is nefarious the word of this podcast?
It is.
We used it in the last segment.
There could be a reason why. So it has come to my attention through various emails, and I've looked through it, and I'm not going to name the source or the entity company being accused, but it seems like at some point within the last year or two, they're on eBay. These sellers have accounts. These large sellers, this I've known. These sellers have accounts, multiple accounts to buy quantities of game. When you go to these bigger resellers, and there's between 5 or 10 at least, that if I start rattling off the names, you'd be like, oh, I bought a game from them. They have a huge amount of stock, and they're not like a brick and mortar where people are coming in and giving them. These are not brick and mortars. These are online retailers. So where do they get their games from? Obviously, they have to be purchased for the most part online.
Yeah, keep in mind that a lot of online retailers don't have storefronts. I don't know if that's something people realize.
The biggest ones don't.
Right. These are people who are sitting in a makeshift office in their house who have garages full of crap.
Sure. And they have empires. Some of them even advertise on eBay, or they advertise. I see they're advertised on my website sometimes. These are, eBay stores that have a huge amount of games. So I always thought that they hired people to troll eBay every day, look for game lots, look for buy it nows, constantly refresh. It would make sense. You hire maybe 4 or 5 people, you can get a good quantity of games doing that. I mean, they'd have to buy at least, to have this quantity of games, 10 to 20 at least purchases a day of lots. Besides individual games, to get this much of stock. These companies have thousands and thousands of games for sale at one time in manuals and systems. Someone emailed me with some decent evidence that it looks like there are programs being used by buying accounts to search the servers of eBay automatically based on certain, I guess, price points and word search terms, and buy these buy it now listings the very instant they appear on eBay servers.
Now, I read through these emails as well, and I believe the individual stated that the way this seems to be working is they're searching hundreds of times a minute. And what's very interesting about this is you'll notice when you compare numbers that from the time something is listed to bought, you usually see a delay, even of the fastest sales, delay of maybe 5 to 6 minutes. And what this is the eBay server putting the listing up. What the emails have shown in evidence is times of 30 seconds. 15 seconds, a minute. This means that these things are being bought out before they can even
really hit the marketplace.
Right, before anyone can search and find them.
Sure, and plus there's different eBay servers throughout the U.S. that are putting this up, so they might be listed first in one part of the U.S. and maybe a minute or 30 seconds later somewhere else, and then it's never even a chance to even be seen by any other part of the U.S. This is... again, this is something that in my back of my head I could realize something like this could happen, but just seeing it like this pointed out to me that, like, for example, there was a seller with some N64 games that were listed all at like $9.99. Buy it now. So you have like the marquee titles like Smash Brothers, Ocarina of Time, things like that. $9.99 plus shipping and handling. Games like this, you buy those. Smash goes for like $45-$50. That's a $40 $30 profit.
Goes for more than that.
Right, that. Yeah. So when you see the time listings on these though, and then compare it to the bought listings, a lot of these are the same minute.
Yeah,
they're the same exact minute that they're listed and you go back and check the end time, they're the same minute. So if you're going to tell me that someone hired someone to click refresh on these, refresh constantly, newest listings, then had to go, okay, now show me, just buy it now, now show me the price was, and then logically in their human minds, click on it, buy it now, go through the checkout. And within 1 minute, that's impossible.
Right,
to do that consistently. Maybe once, to do it over and over again, no way in hell.
Well, especially when you, I mean, maybe your first time of the day, you know, you can be that fast, especially if you have like Chrome autofill on or whatever.
Sure.
But as the day goes on, as you get more tired, I can tell you from working on computers, I mean, anyone can who's worked on computers, as the day goes on, you get way slower at your reaction to this. This is not only does it not make any fucking sense to hire someone to just hit refresh all day, because you have to actually pay them. It's just not possible for that to be consistently happening. And the evidence also showed some pretty... what's the word I want to use? Robotic timing intervals on these things. Like things were bought exactly 3 minutes apart.
And this person who emailed me found out about this sort of circuitously because they had the bot purchase at least one of their items. Mm. And so that's one of the ways they found out, where it was like instant listing just about bought. Because I believe if this is probably, well, I do know who, from this evidence, who's responsible for programming this program. You can go onto websites and they have the sniping sort of I guess you can call them programs there,
right.
Which is what this program is probably based on. Where a sniping one is usually they're free, and you put in, okay, I want to bid on this item at this time. 6 seconds left, this is the bid I want. So this, though, is searching. Because on these sniping programs, you have to put in the listing specifically. You have to do the work, put in the listing, and then it has to end. So for there, you can do that yourself. That's just the robot helping you. This is the robot searching, like you said, every listing on eBay, searching the descriptions, searching lots and finding descriptions. I don't know if it's sophisticated enough to count up the games in a lot and then put it against the price. Who knows?
It's probably looking for keywords, and if even one keyword is
triggered, it'll buy it.
Triggered,
versus
and the
price
price is right. So, I mean, because I know it's going to come up in the comments section anyways, I'll address it. I do have issues with sniping programs, but eBay doesn't, or I don't know if they do.
eBay frowns upon it, but it's not like... There's the thing. It's a human could snipe, though. Like,
right.
Before sniping programs, humans were sniping.
Right, exactly. And that's what
I had to go home in college when my big box Dynamite was going off and snipe it myself.
And that's kind of what I wanted to get at, is that humans can snipe, and sometimes you're lucky and sometimes you're not. And even with sniping programs, sometimes you're lucky and sometimes you're not. And what it has done is, okay, you found this that you are actually bidding on, so you're actually engaged in some sort of bidding war.
Sure.
You're not getting it for the lowest available price, and we all have jobs, we all have shit to do, and sometimes we can't watch all these auctions. But to grab things before they're even up for the public is...
For the rest of the U.S., yeah.
Is that's definitely shady in my book.
It sounds like, according to the source, that this software is deployed on multiple servers throughout the U.S. to maximize its effectiveness. So if something shows up, say eBay has a server based out of the East Coast, New York. Say if that item appears there, even 2 seconds before it appears in the West Coast, because the software is also deployed in that area, it'll make sure it gets it before it even appears, on the other side of the country. So apparently, eBay is aware of this, or has been made aware. This person did notify them and gave them multiple buying accounts that were using this, and I believe eBay did ban at least one of these buying accounts, but this is popping up more and more. So again, this is extremely troubling because it's not a level playing field at all.
Right.
The odds are stacked against you, and yes, this does artificially raise prices.
Yes, I was just going to say, it artificially raises prices. I mean, what this program is going after is really misprices, but depending on the parameters that the person wants to set and how close they're willing to get to current retail value, what you are doing is you are eliminating the lower end and only leaving the higher end, which just raises the price. So
it's bad in two ways. It's bad that they're basically getting all this cheap stock to resell, but they're also then manipulating the market. They're manipulating the market because then, say for example, Smash Brothers, say in the past you were able to get a cheap buy, now cheap, in quotes, for $25. If this bot sets it at any $25, hey, I'm selling mine all at 50. I don't want to. All those $25 ones are now gone. No chance.
Right.
Then all the 30 ones will be gone. So he's not only this person or entities that are doing this is not only depleting the supply, they are now artificially raising the price at the same time and protecting their price at those levels. This is bad any way you look at it. There's no positives to this. None at all.
No.
The only people that win are the people running these businesses and doing something that's illegal. And again, if eBay knows about this, I hope they come down on it. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they figure, well, it's going to be bought anyway. But this is a bad experience. And the more people find out about this and use it, it's going to be... That's why I always hated buy it nows. Buy it nows were the beginning of the end.
I'm going to fiddle as eBay burns. It's going to be just dandy.
So I bring this up. I'm not going to say who this big seller is because I do not have the direct evidence myself. I'm not going to say who this person is, but I invite those out there to look into this activity yourself. If you thought this was going on, talk to other collectors. Look at buy it now prices.
Yeah, if you notice your buy it nows being gone in, way quicker time than they should.
Or ones that come up in your saved searches, and you go and check them every day, and why aren't they? They're never there.
Then record this.
Record it. Let eBay know. Let eBay investigate themselves. That's the only thing you could do. It's just a shame that I was always the person on forums where like, oh, you're being either paranoid or no, this shit is happening. It's a big business now.
Or shop local. I haven't seen any robots come into my store.
Well, kind of when you think about the personalities.
That's fair.
Get your table cup soccer for $5. And put on eBay for 30 or 40. But yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad. I know a hobby can't remain sort of a hobby forever before this stuff gets infiltrated, but this is an illegal, fraudulent activity.
Yeah.
That is nefarious.